Hi, welcome. Good for you for showing up here, for putting your dream on the front burner enough to carve out this time for yourself right now. So today I'm going to be going over 4 tools to bring your dream onto the front burner so that you can get into action. And this talk is for you if you know you can make a big difference and you want to. You're ready to do the scary work that it takes to step into leadership, and you're ready to overcome the blocks to marketing and sales and visibility, and you want the freedom so that you can be the visionary that you are, to get beyond just doing your job, whatever lands on your desk, whatever clients come in the door, that you can get on the front end of creating what you want to create and working with who you want to work, making the difference that you want to make. And finally, if you really want freedom, flexible schedule, enough income that you can be creating what you want to create and doing it full time. Whether your dream is leading retreats in exotic places, or just going to yoga whenever you want, more time with your kids, or maybe more alone time before you pick your kids up. Basically, more freedom. So I'm here to help you either launch your business, to do, take that step to either leaving your job or getting that business off the ground, your first few clients, or leverage. If you've got some individual clients, help you create a group program or something more expansive so that you are getting paid more for less time, and having a bigger impact. So that's what I'm all about. Today is the first of a 5-video sequence, and my goal for you here today is to help you feel like whatever your dream is, it's possible. Whatever you are on the edge of, looking out over that leap, I want you to feel like it's a good idea and it's possible. And today is about mindset. I want you to feel, by the end of the day, you should be feeling like it's possible and worth doing the scary stuff to make it possible. You also should be feeling like you've got an action step in front of you that you can take, where you can focus your energy and get into movement. And just be sure to stick around to the end. I'll be giving you some next steps, specific next steps, as well as my most powerful trick that you can use to get your dreams off the ground. So, as usual, I always like to start with a story. Some of you who've been coming to my Get Your Gifts Out workshops recently have heard this one. But go ahead, get cozy, it's story time. So this story takes place, I don't know, less than a decade ago. I think it was around 8 years ago. I'm sitting at my desk. It's twilight, and I'm at UC Davis in the counseling center. I used to work in North Hall over there with the students as a staff psychologist, and there's just so many meetings. And I was seeing 200 to 300 students a year, so just triage, really. And I wasn't able to do my full magic. First of all, I was, had my hair in the bun, and just trying to fit the part, and just keep my freak flag a little hidden, and it just wasn't in my full potency, plus all the bureaucratic things to keep up with that just goes along with a job at an institution like that. And I was just trying to wrap up to go home to see my son, who was little then, and 50-hour work week. And I decided at that moment that I wanted to quit, and it took me a year to quit. And looking back, it's like, why was that so hard? But at the time, it was so hard. Man, it was hard. I had the good fortune to join a year-long transformational group program, and just all the counseling and support I received in that helped me. And then having this mentor who was just like a psychologist, but he was just doing his own freak flag thing, and he was having huge impact. I mean, he rocked my life. He was rocking the lives of 60 other people. And through that counterculture, I found the courage to quit. And it was not easy. I remember conversations with my parents, just that, like, what about the benefits? Don't forget the benefits. You know what I'm talking about? But I had the courage. I quit. I launched my private practice. It was going well. It went great. And then there came a point where I was like, I want more. Like, I want to have even bigger impact. Like, this isn't enough for me. I was taking insurance clients, which I'm a big fan of because, it allows a lot of people to be seen, but also there is something about, it's not across the board, but there is something about just, paying a $15 copay where, for a lot of people, you're not all in. So I felt like I was kind of moving people from here to here. And I wanted to run groups. And I was trying to run groups, but it was so much work to get them off the ground, and they weren't that lucrative. And it was during this time that I started having this reoccurring dream of trying to find an airport, but I couldn't find it. I didn't have the map. I didn't have the directions. Or sometimes I'd find the airport, but I couldn't get in. I couldn't find the entrance. I couldn't figure it out. Or I'd be in the airport, but then I couldn't remember what gate it was. And I woke up from one of these dreams, and I was checking my email, and my newborn daughter sleeping beside me. Those sleepless nights, she probably woke me up. I'm like, well, I might as well check email. And there was a solicitation from a business coach, and it was good. She had her marketing down. She was speaking to me. She had done her research. And I just, filled out the form for the free phone call. And in the call, I felt this yes, like absolutely, like this yes. She's got the entrance to the airport. She's got the flight plan. But she wanted $5,000, and at that time I was like, holy shit, that's a lot of money. But I was able to come up with it, and I'm so glad I did, because she helped me launch my first year of Wild Women Rising. She gave me the formula, which I'll be giving to you in one of these videos. And I was able to fill that program with 9 women in my living room. And the first year, I tripled my investment in that coach. I mean, I did work my butt off, but the money coming in just more than covered the business coaching. And then the second year is 24 women. This last year was 30 women. This last year, I made as much with that program as my salary at UC Davis. And I'm just loving it. Like, I now see about 6 or 7 clients a week. My schedule's built around my favorite yoga classes. I usually take a Monday or Friday off every week to go into nature, spend time with a friend. Most of my time is around just planning what impact I want to make, really thinking about what's the most I can do with my time and my talents to change the world, to make it the way I want to make it. And then also the fulfillment phase of just creating these retreats. And I've got the formula down that if I come up with an idea, I can just implement it. And many of you met my assistant Rossi, who's freaking phenomenal, and takes a lot of stuff off my plate. And I'm the almost sole breadwinner for a family of 4. I think that's all I want to say about that. But I want to tell you this story because I want to give you a sense of what's possible. Like, this is possible for you. It does require quite a bit of work, but it's good work, and it definitely requires pushing the edges of your comfort zone over and over again, and some work up front before you get to the freedom part. But not that long. Like, after I launched Wildwomen Rising, I think I took like 10 weeks of vacation that year. But I just want to inspire you, because we need you to step into your full potency. Like, that's the main thing. Like, yes, I want you to have the freedom. Yes, I want you to have the income, but really only the income so that you can do this full time. And we just need healers. Like this earth is going to crap. And if you have healing gifts, like, we need all hands on deck. And you might look around and be like, oh, there's so many people doing what I want to do. They're not doing what you would be doing, because you are unique. You have had a certain journey that has brought you into your healing gifts, and you have a unique medicine, and you are doing us a huge disservice by not doing the work to get out of your own way, because this is bigger than you. Okay, I got my mom voice on. This is bigger than you. Like, you need to stop that. And I know it's big. I know it's scary. I know it's not easy. All right, you still with me? It's so weird talking into a video camera, but I know somebody's out there listening a week from now, a year from now. All right, let's dive in. I want to give you the tools, baby. I don't want this video to be so long. I know we're all busy. Okay, all right. Tool number 1 is to get in front of your schedule. So, when you're working, it's like, if you're like me, you've got kids or whatever, you're in triage, right? Like, your plate is full, and something like your business is so big, and you kind of don't know what the next step is, and so it kind of keeps getting pushed back. So what I'm saying is, you get in charge of your schedule, block off at least 2 hours a week that you're devoting to your business. These are your 2 hours that you're devoting to your business. I mean, like, if you start your day checking your inbox, like, all that good morning coffee, green tea energy is just like going towards, or if you're a night owl, whatever, is going towards other people's needs, which is important. But like, you got to put this on the front burner, or it's never going to happen. So figuring out your priorities, I like to just make my to-do list each day. I've got my ongoing, never-ending list. And then each time I sit down, and sometimes I'll star the ones, or what I like doing recently is then just making a list for the day. Okay, what are the items from this list that are absolutely like the most crucial? And then starring even those. Like, there's like the bonus items, and then there's like the things that are the most important that I'm deciding what's most important, and do not let those 2 hours or more a week go. It's going to be tempting. People are going to be, oh, I really need you, or, oh, this thing's going to feel more urgent, because, there's always going to be something more urgent. This is a big ongoing project, your business, but you cannot let it go. Okay. And you might have to let some balls drop. My first year launching Wildwomen Rising, I remember posting pictures of my laundry basket. It was like this quadruple decker ice cream cone. I just didn't freaking do any laundry for months. My kids are like wearing dirty clothes. Like, some shit's gonna fall, because you can't add something new to your plate like this without something falling off. So maybe your house is a shit show. Maybe you deprioritize some acquaintances, and just focus on your primary people and your business for a few months. And maybe even you have less time with your people or your kids for a little while, because this is going to buy you more freedom down the road. It's really hard to make those sacrifices, especially with children. But, if it means an extra 2 weeks of vacation with them for like the next 10 years, because 3 months you're going to be a little bit more consumed, or you're going to miss some evening times with them, I'm telling you, it's worth it. So, are you ready for tool number 2? Tool number 2 is get creative. So, this is basically where there's a will, there's a way, and just thinking outside the box. So, one thing is it's important to have this time where you're focusing on your business and then you're just thinking, you're problem solving, and give yourself lots of rest time, just wandering in nature without thinking too much time, going to yoga time, just lying on the bed and closing your eyes time. It's like, this is when a lot of my great ideas come to me. So just kind of like listening to what's going on in the background. So a more tangible example, I was very lucky in that I could reduce my work at UC Davis. I think I went down to like 90%, 80%, and I was like 60% for a really long time as I built up the private practice. So that was just super easy way to build the business. So what kind of options are there? Maybe you don't know about them. Maybe you can look into different options at your work, or quitting your job for a part-time job. I'm just throwing stuff out there. Another thing I did as I was launching Wildman Rising is we Airbnb'd this tiny trailer, and that brought in some money that allowed me to focus my efforts just on the launching. Maybe it's just totally worth it to get a little extra childcare, maybe on the weekends, or you do a childcare swap if you have kids. It's really worth it to invest some into this. Those are just some of my ideas of thinking outside the box, getting creative. Number 3, it's obvious but so worth repeating, is accountability. Like, we freaking need this. That if so much of the stuff with our business, there's not a natural deadline. There's not like, oh, you need to have your website done by this date, or do this big scary thing by this date. It's like, of course you're going to keep putting it off. So number 1 would be get a coach. There's nothing like putting a lot of money down to whip you into a frenzy of like, I better freaking make good on this investment, and having that person really show up for you. Also, a coach can hold the big picture for you. That it's like they're kind of up on the mountaintop watching you, trying to find your way through the bushes, and they're like, oh yeah, people come up to this mountaintop all the time, like the path's over there, and just go right at the creek. And they're just holding, like, I know you can do this, I help people do this, and here's the path, here's the formula. You could also get like an accountability buddy. In my Wild Healers Rising group, we have a mastermind group within it where you just meet monthly, and there's something really lovely about these people who are holding space for you to make a claim of, by the time we meet next month, I will have accomplished this. I'm saying to you right now as my witness, and that they're thinking about you and rooting for you, and that they're going to be asking about that. The only reason I ever started doing this stupid Facebook Lives, I hate Facebook Lives. I mean, it's fun when I'm doing them, but like, man, there's no way I would have done that if it wasn't for a mastermind group that I was involved in last year as part of some business coaching that I paid for. That I just told them I was going to do it. I knew they were going to check in, so I just did it. And then after it was a bit easier, but that first one, I really needed that accountability. So you could find someone, maybe you meet an hour a week, a lot of half hour for you, a half hour for them. Take the first few minutes to just vent. It's so hard. And then it's always important to take a few minutes to celebrate anything you were able to do. Celebrate the littlest things. Celebrating is so important. And then talk about what you want from that time. And then make sure you leave with an action plan that they're going to hold you accountable to, and really make sure that you take turns. I highly recommend that. So that's an hour a week that could really take you a long ways. Yeah. And tool number 4 is surround yourself with people who are doing it. I so recommend this. When I first was thinking about launching my private practice, I went on a bunch of networking coffee lunch dates with other therapists in private practice. And part of the idea was that they would hopefully refer people to me, and I don't think anyone did. I was so green. I was just, fresh out of postdoc, and but I got gold from that. And the gold I got was just being around people who are doing it, like this majestical thing, private practice, self-employment, just having a full client load and just my own schedule, being my own boss. It all seemed so mythical. And I was just having coffee several times a week with people who are just like, yeah, you just get some business cards, put it out on Psychology Today, and blah, blah, blah. Here's some paperwork, you can use mine. And they're just like, yeah, you can do this. No big deal. I mean, that is so medicinal. And last year I was part of this business coaching program. The mentor she was okay, but really what I got from it is just being a part of just this group of badass businesswomen who are rocking it. And I'm a part of it. And they're just doing it. I'm like, you could do that? Oh, you just did that? Okay. All right. That's what we're doing. All right. You want to make a lot of money? That's okay? You can say that out loud. You want that? That's a thing we can want? Whatever the stretch is for you. Just be around people who are doing it. So valuable. So valuable. And part of this also is to not take advice from people who are not doing it. That there are so many people who are so afraid, and they're going to want to protect you, and they're going to be so well-intentioned because they don't want you to go through hell, because it is kind of hell in the best way. It's so worth it. But they don't want you to be judged. They don't want you to be rejected. They're just trying to protect you. And what they're really afraid of is it's just too scary for them. So they're going to tell you, oh, maybe don't do that. Think about the benefits, or, maybe, stay safe. But, don't listen to people who aren't doing it. Take it into consideration, but don't give it a lot of weight. As Brene Brown says, they're not in the arena. Yeah, so get yourself some people who are in the arena. You're going to need that. All right, so we're moving towards wrapping up. Take a moment. Well, why don't I repeat these back to you? All right. Number 1, get in front of your schedule. Remember, you block off those 2 hours. You do not give that time away. You are in charge of your schedule, not everything that everybody wants and needs from you, because that's never going to end. You can't be Little Miss or Little Mr. Perfect. You decide what's important to you. Number 2, get creative. How can you make this happen? How can you switch things around? Get extra childcare. Cut back at work. How can you make it happen? Because it might take some big shifts. Number 3, accountability. We just went over that, so you probably remember it. And number 4, surround yourself with people who are doing it. Yeah. So take a moment and I want you to write down, what are you committed to right now in this moment after hearing this? Are you willing to commit to any of those things? Carving out the time, looking into options at your work for cutting back. Yeah, take a moment, write it down, make it tangible. And now go shout it from the rooftop. No, seriously, tell anyone in your life who's trustworthy. You know, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm up to. There's nothing like saying it out loud that really makes it so. So if you want to keep it on the back burner, don't tell anyone. That's reverse psychology. Yeah. So that's what I got for you today. I'm going to be making 4 more of these. Next time, I'm going to be talking about the 3 biggest mistakes that healer entrepreneurs make, the 3 biggest traps that they fall into that keep you from being your biggest, baddest self, that keep you from really making those dreams. We're such good dreamers, aren't we? I do so many of these calls with healers to see if they're ready to step into it, and so many of them just have this vision that's just like, psh, I'm like, that's awesome. That's probably 5 years out. But you know what's the stuff that's in the way of making that happen? You know, that keeps us from getting started or keeps us where we're at. So I'm going to be going into, based on all these calls that I've done, what are the 3 main themes that I just see emerging again and again. So I'd love to share that with you. And if you're interested in receiving the rest, there'll be a link somewhere in the vicinity where you can sign up to make sure that you don't miss the remaining 4 videos. And maybe a link to sign up for my mailing list. I don't know. I'll figure it out. So that we can stay in touch, because I do a lot of free workshops and I'd love to see you in person at one of them. They're magical, they're powerful. I'm not tooting my own horn. Something else comes through me. It's not really me. Yeah. So stay tuned. I'd love to see more. I'm going to walk you through some really important steps in these 5 videos so that you're just going to be in motion. So I hope that you follow through with whatever you committed to. I will be seeing you soon. If you made it this far, thank you for carving out this time to take your gifts seriously. There's not a whole lot more that's more important. So we need you to get out of your way. You can do this. I'll see you soon.